Happy Thursday morning, mid-Missouri. We are tracking, our winter storm that we've been talking about. It's just gliding by to the north of us. For most of us, I should say, the biggest impact is accumulating snow in good amounts coming through parts of Omaha, parts of southeast Nebraska, central Iowa. We are kind of in the transition zone between snow and rain, and that means for us some freezing rain. That's going to be the big deal for us heading forward. That's going to be the big focus of the forecast and potentially our biggest impacts. Of course, that storm has winter alerts stretched across multiple states. We find ourselves on the very southern edge of that with winter weather advisories in effect here from Pettis County over to Howard Cooper, Saline, Sheraton County, Randolph, Monroe, and Macon as well, all included in this winter weather advisory, with the focus for some of that freezing rain stretching from, we'll say, Marshall here to Brunswick and Macon. That's where I think some of the best freezing rain totals will be, maybe stretching over there towards Paris as well. And this is why. Take a look at where temperatures are over the next few hours. Below freezing, north of Highway 70, really closer to Highway 24. That's where rain will be falling on through freezing air and potentially onto freezing surfaces. If we can get roads that cool, you're going to have some slick roads here to start the day. It's very hit and miss and very light, but we're still watching the potential for some of those slick roads, especially some of those bridges and elevated surfaces. If you've got a back deck that's elevated from the ground, you're going to have a pretty good chance of it being slick if we can get some of this rain to make it to the ground here through some of that freezing air. And that lasts through around noon. Meanwhile, folks to the south are staying in rain. Columbia, for example, should see rain, cold rain throughout the morning. I don't think we see much of that freezing rain threat, but we will see some snow wrap around here on the backside. This is going to be also very light and kind of hit and miss throughout the afternoon, wrapping up towards the dinner hour. And the snow is not most of our concern. We'll likely keep we'll keep snow totals below an inch for just about all of us. Now, as we head towards midnight, we're watching skies clear a bit, and we're looking at clear skies for your Friday morning. Maybe a few clouds off towards the east here, but we're still watching a sunrise, and we'll see a sunny trend throughout the rest of your Friday. We'll call it mostly sunny, but that's just enough to get temperatures back to near 40 with winds that are just starting to shift out of the south and west by Friday night. And that'll set us up for a relatively warm overnight into Saturday, and then Saturday we're really going to warm quite quickly. Here's what our freezing rain looks like, our freezing rain potential looks like, I should say. We're still looking at very light amounts, a hundredth of an inch to a tenth of an inch. That's not power outage ice, but that could be slick road ice for us. A light glaze is what we're tracking, again, stretching from Marshall, maybe as far south as Sedalia, but likely Marshall to Moberly and Paris, and then up towards Macon and Brunswick. Here's a look at that snow potential. We could see more than an inch just near Macon or Brunswick. Most likely we're close to an inch at most, and then maybe a dusting to the south. High-end potential up to an inch as far south as Columbia, but it's looking very unlikely that we get that much. Here's what that means for your roads. Again, the greatest impact still going to be north of mid-Missouri, but we are looking at maybe some of that freezing rain causing some minor interruptions. So use some extra caution if you're getting out the door in Macon County, Sheraton, and especially there towards Randolph as well. So we're going to keep these chances for precipitation in the forecast through the dinner hour, and that's where it starts to wrap up. Our high today, if you're in Columbia, mid-30s, low 30s if you're to the north where all that wintry mess is going to be. To the south, you could get upper 30s. Either way, though, it's going to be a cool one. Slightly warmer for your Friday in the low 40s. Saturday and Sunday, we're in the 50s and 60s respectively there, and then we'll stay dry through Monday before chances for rain start to pick back up in the forecast towards the middle part of next week.